Hi all, this is my cat who is making extreme biscuits on the back of my, his name, by the way, and you might also eventually see my other cat, I have two, but his name is Stevie, the black and white, the Tux, and he is 6 years old. So I hope that entertains you for a second. I have pulled from the Cosma Visions Oracle for us this week with the full moon energy. I just kept getting the nudge to bring out this deck again. I really want to always, I want to bring out more decks and rotate more decks, but it just felt appropriate for the full moon energy, the intense energy that we have been having. I really feel in my personal life there are a lot of cycles ending, and I have been hearing from mediums and readers of every type that there's a lot of cycle ending happening. Like when they see clients, they've mentioned to me they are experiencing that in the energy of their clients. And I watched a video about how it's about transits that have to do with going through the end of this year. There's a lot of cycles ending. In terms of exact things about those transits, that's not my area of expertise, astrology transits. My expertise really is in speaking to the guide realm, and I have only recently started to use cards in conjunction with the way that I can speak to the guide realm and the angelic realm. So I'm learning as I do these readings for you how to incorporate cards, mostly because I found very specific, perfect decks for that, and then I was like, you know what? It's time to learn to do both. So, literally in my tarot class right now, and I am reading a bunch of tarot books. So I've not brought actual tarot onto this channel yet, but I'm doing the Cosma Visions Oracle is incredible. It has enough cards that it actually lists with it what is the equivalent tarot card for each card. So if you ever were interested in the Cosma Visions Oracle, there is a corresponding tarot deck, and you can use both, and there are spreads to use both together. Eventually I'll get it together to get links to those decks into the descriptions. I am not that great at writing descriptions for YouTube yet. This is a learning process for me and everything. But let's get to the cards. I pulled 3 cards, and there are a lot of sort of characters which are called in the mythos of this deck, they're called beings. So there are deliberately a lot of beings in what are essentially the major arcana of this deck. On both sides of the deck, there's a bunch of beings in the beginning, beings and landmarks, and in the beginning and at the end. So I'm still learning this deck. I've been using it personally for about a month, and I also but I don't always use the actual cards, because I even have the app for this deck, which you can flip between the oracle cards or the tarot cards, and you can do spreads with both of them, even in the app. So I'm still learning the exact meaning of each individual being and landmark in sort of the artist's like envisioning of the other side, which is really what the Cosma Oracle is really about. And it's really also about how to maintain the portal between the other side and here. It's really about portals. He has a separate oracle deck, which I'll bring to the channel once I learn the deck, the Open Portals Oracle. And I just got that one, so I'm not ready to bring that on the channel yet. But this is the Cosma Visions Oracle that I've been working with for about, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months. It's been a little while. I don't work with it every single day because it has a very, very intense energy of the other side. It's like palpable. I don't know if it's palpable to you through the video, but it's very palpable working, like even opening the box and working with the cards and everything. So the 3 cards that I will show you the cards. The 3 cards that you got are the Commander, which I believe he corresponds with one of the kings in the tarot deck. He's not a bad card, even though it's, you know, Commander, but it doesn't mean like, oh my god, military, like bad, ooh. It's actually like a fortuitous card. So, the Commander. The Fighter, which definitely I feel like, without even looking into the book or anything like that, I feel like the Fighter is an accurate energy for the intensity we are dealing with. Currently right now. And then this is anything numbered like this is really from basically the major arcana, and it's the bridge. I am still learning this deck, but I can tell you right now that the Commander kind of has to do with that's upside down. The Commander kind of has to do with, like, a little bit to do with prosperity. I'm gonna read from the book because it's the most accessible to do that, because it actually has a description that he wrote, well, that was written about what he drew. A separate person wrote the book. So, okay. I am looking for the Commander because he is in the back. Here we go. Yes, so his mirror card is King of Pentacles. For those of you who are familiar with the tarot and would know, you know, King of Pentacles is Earth, is a high, it's a high, the highest pentacle card. Okay, so it says resourceful and controlling. Heavy metal boots press firmly into the ground beneath the many-faced Commander, who exudes an unshakable firmness reminiscent to that of the Emperor. Dressed in excessive armor, the body of the Commander is heavily protected. Feeling secure and confident, they offer direction with a boldness so fierce it cannot be questioned. If you have pulled the commander in a reading, you are channeling an energy of determination that will go unmatched. The commander is resourceful and grounded, which leads them to being quite successful in matters of work and finance. Be careful not to fall into the belief that all that is important can be seen with the eyes. Be malleable, give room for your heart to speak. So I think that's really relevant. I mean, my channel literally is for neurodivergent people. Literally, that's my intention with this channel. So I feel like saying, like, be careful not to, judge by, like, what you physically see, like, is an important point there. That's why I kind of, like, the commander doesn't freak me out. It's prosperity to me. I'm okay with it. I'll take whatever prosperity the universe would love to give to me, so, or any of us in the collective, I mean, so it's not a bad card to me. Second card is the Fighter, and that is, the mirror card for the Fighter is the Knight of Swords. Impulsive, vengeful, and quick to act. I feel like we are gonna, like, really go through some very intense energies in the next 24 hours. So that kind of makes sense to me, for, like, the sort of, like, if we think about it as, like, the past, present, future, it's in the present position. So, like, the present energy right now is pretty forceful. Could be, I hope not vengeful, but, like, there are a lot of karmic cycles ending, like, as I mentioned. Quick to act, well, hopefully that means it'll be quick, and then we'll be through the transit. So, brown boots shuffle across the freshly packed snow. A figure wearing an antlered mask slides one leg forwards and grips their sword in two hands. The fighter is on high alert, ready to defend any attack against their character, even though the field is empty besides the gust of wind and falling snow. So yeah, this is like someone who is like a defensive energy. There's nothing for this person to really fight. We just have to get through it. Okay, so that was the physical description of the card, and then it says head in the clouds. The fighter is impulsive and quick to act. They take no direction from others and live for one reason: to overcome adversity. If you see the fighter in a reading, ask if every battle is worth the brawl, or if passivity can lend a more helpful hand. If others have found you to be impulsive in your actions, this can easily be perceived as vengeful behavior. No one wants to be known as the one who is constantly picking fights for the sake of action. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how that plays out in the next 24 hours with the whether or not that has any bearing on the full moon, which is in Capricorn. But all I know is, for me, that's my opposite sign. So I am expecting it to be, I don't know, this whole period for me, from the new moon to the full moon, has been kind of interesting. So I'm like really ready for anything. I'm not like worried about it, but I could see where, it'll be like kind of, I'm just thinking about this in terms of the fact that it'll be quick. I hope that's really all it means. Let me find the bridge. What number is... Okay. So the bridge, I have an idea. Here we go. So the bridge, the mirror card is the moon, illusions and intuition. You come across a bridge, a strange breeze tosses specks of light in the thick air. You notice a figure standing on the other side of the bridge. It looks like you, or what you imagine yourself looking like. But as you step forward, the space around you ripples like a mirage and distorts your vision. Is this an illusion? Fragments of your past and future memories reflect onto the bridge and then vanish. The figure that was once at one end of the bridge, the figure that was once at the other end of the bridge is no longer there, and you find yourself in their place. The bridge is a card about illusions. If you pull it in a reading, it can either be a warning that something around you is not what it seems, or it can be a call for you to pay attention to your unconscious self. I feel like the whole deck does this. I mean, that's why I love this deck. We all have desires that are not necessarily resting on the surface. Sometimes we are unaware what we want most in life. The bridge is only a metaphor for this. In time, you will see that it is constructed only of your own illusions. So, I mean, we are going through a huge moon transit right now. I would not be... This reading sounds like a little intense because this deck really sounds a little intense like all the time. But my experience of the other side is also kind of, I don't know, it sort of reflects some of my experience of the other side, because I guess, like, for me, I would say I have, I've had a lot of experiences. Not everything on the other side is, the airy-fairy, like, beautiful, perfect love kind of stuff at all times. So I really appreciate like feeling the energy of this deck, and it does not like scare me in any way. It kind of reflects sort of a, I don't know, maybe like a bittersweet, maybe bittersweet is the word. It's not quite the word, but just something that isn't all perfect love and light at all times. Like, there's shades of gray in the afterlife, for me as a medium. So anyway, it does, even though, you know, you may not be used to the tone of like this deck, or and I will show all the cards again so that you can have your own interpretation of this art. This is the Commander. The Fighter. And the Bridge. This is the bridge where you meet yourself on the bridge. A long time ago, I wrote a story about meeting, like, people meeting themselves on the bridge. So I don't know, it just, and this is, by the way, the back of the card for all the cards. So anyway, I hope that, you know, this is not like alarming to you in any way. It's not alarming to me. It's fairly in line with my experiences of sort of maybe the the gray areas of the other side, let's say. And I just think what the cards are saying is that we are just going to go through a quick transit in the next 24 hours. And I will try to get this posted like as soon as possible. It takes a little while for YouTube to quality check it and everything. But anyway, I wanted to check in, like, sort of with, for me, there's no fear, and I don't think that there should be any indication for fear. Oracle cards, there's a tarot guy that I watch to learn how to do this, and he always is just like, tarot is pieces of paper. Like, oracle cards are pieces of paper. So I never want to leave anyone with any sense of fear. The other side is not about fear. There are just, like, I just personally love working with this deck because it shows, like, the shades of gray in the other side. And that's literally why I love working with it. And I hope it resonates with you. I hope that there's something in this reading that you can come to appreciate. I hope you like the art. I hope you are curious, even if it just makes you a little curious about mediumship and having your own experience of the other side. If you're curious at all, if you like my style. And of course, like, I have to mention, it always helps the channel if you like the video or subscribe or leave a comment. If you have questions about this reading, about the other side, about being a medium, whatever, any questions are always welcome in the comments. I think it's an intense energy, and hopefully, the intensity level will be a little bit mediated, let's say, in like 48 hours from now. I am not the astrology type who can tell you by the hour what the moon is doing. There are astrologers who really can do that. I've found a few. That is not my strength. I also want to experiment a little bit with talking about mediumship and maybe like demonstrating mediumship on this channel without cards, because I love the cards, but it also it puts like sort of walls around the conversation, which is fine. All of this is an experiment to me. I hope something in this reading resonated for you. I love this deck. It's a little prickly, but I love the energy of this deck, like, so much. Like, I feel like it permeates, like, when it comes out of the box, it like permeates the room where I am. And maybe you can feel some of that. Maybe you resonate with this deck, and I will try to get the links in the description so that if you want this deck, you can get this deck. And also a very cool combo deck for this deck is coming out, where you can literally, it has the technology to like flip between the Cosma card and the Prisma card in one deck, because it's like some kind of holographic technology. But I'm not being sponsored at all or anything. I just love this deck, and I want to make sure if you also resonate with this deck that you can get your own. Okay, thank you. I hope you have an easy transition through the full moon. And I will get this posted as soon as I can.